Hi, I'm Remi Ayodele. Welcome to day 12 of our Summer Connection Challenge. Today we're talking about travel together, create memories that move you. So, whether it's a road trip or you're going by air or by train, just make it fun and make it memorable. Because let me tell you one thing, traveling together gives you that shared space where connection happens as a family. You in a tight space in a car, you're not going anywhere. So you can talk, you can share each other's stories, and you can build memories together. 3 things that traveling will help you accomplish as a parent of a teenager before they leave home. You help them learn real world skills like flexibility, like adventure. You create stronger bonds and you build lifelong memories. You know, in a world that is so packed with schedule, activities, work, they're all good things, but traveling gives you a rare opportunity. One that will help you build memories your children will remember for life. I remember one of our road trips. It was an 11-hour road trip to Vancouver, Canada, and it was during Thanksgiving, and so it was snow season, but we don't have snow right here in our city. But as we were traveling and we had this stop, and my son saw snow for the first time. His face lit up. I'm like, oh my goodness. That excitement just made the trip even more fun. And so you can see that every time we tell that story, he remembers the first time he saw snow. And honestly, during the trip, we have this series we call Adventures in Odyssey. We play it and we're laughing with them because it's like they take you into the scene where that story is happening. And we are just in that together. We're laughing. We're telling our own personal stories. Sometimes we're singing on the way. And of course, the food stops are the favorites. So we get to choose which fast foods we're going to buy food from so that we don't have to stop too long and continue our journey. So that trip is an unforgettable one for us because other things happen on that journey. That's a story for another time. But what are the life skills really that traveling together will teach you, will help parents teach their teenagers? Number 1, planning and responsibility. From packing the suitcase, reading road maps, helping to book tickets, your teenagers are gaining real life skills. I remember that Vancouver trip. Should I tell this story? That story, we arrived at the border and my husband like, where's the passport? I just smiled. Then I brought it out from my bag. So you can see how packing together, one person will remember something the other person forgot because he remembered to book the hotel. I remember the passport. So working together as a couple is also huge, right? And then with your children, life skills, you're teaching each other that as a couple, you work together to make life work, to make family work. So that's about that. There's more to that story. But the number 2 things it teaches is flexibility and problem solving. So when you're traveling, you know there's delays, there's detours, and sometimes you even miss your exit or almost miss your flight. Oh my goodness. I remember we were traveling, right? So we were going to park the car in the airport this time. We didn't envisage that there would be a long line in the security. So by the time my husband parked the car and we went through security, they were boarding the last person. Like, last call for your flight. Last call for your... We were run. We were run. Oh my goodness. I could have won the Olympics that day because, oh my God. I could have won the Olympic race that day because we had to run to catch the flight. By the time we entered the plane, I had to stop and catch my breath. So yeah, plan next. So anytime we're traveling now, Dad, we can't be late. So everybody reminds each one, we can't be late because we're not going to be running like that again. So anyway, the number 3 thing it teaches is communication. With no distractions on the trip, the conversations can finally go beyond reminders. Oh, did you pack your school lunch? Did you finish your homework? You know, that's what the daily routine becomes, right? When a teenager is home. But when you travel, your conversation expands to, Who are you? What do you love doing? Where do you like to eat? You discovered that very well. Or do you like ketchup or onions, or ketchup for your fries? Or do you want onions in your hamburger? You begin to discover all these little things about your children when you travel together that you would not discover when you're home. So I encourage you, sometimes travel is a sacrifice, financial sacrifice, time sacrifice, but we know that those are the memories that our children will take with us. And number 4 thing it teaches your children is appreciation. They begin to notice the beauty in people, in culture, in nature, and even in you, their parent. Because you're stopping long enough to look into their faces so they can totally relate with you. And that's entering each other's space. Remember, I started with day 1 saying connection. John Maxwell said in his book that connection is the ability to identify with people and relate with them in a way that increases your influence with them. So we want to influence our children as parents. So in order to do that, we have to identify with them. We have to give them opportunity to identify with us. Talking about culture and nature, I'm going to go to my book because we're trekking through my book, 21 Ways to Create Timeless Memories in the Teenage Years, and it's called Practically Connected Parenting. So today we're on chapter 12, and I'm going to take us to page 88. This was then. For those of you that are just joining me, my book has 2 parts for every chapter. The now, how I live out my parenting with my own children, and the then, how my parents did the exact same activity. And the beauty of it is that when I set out to write this book, I didn't think of what my parents did. In fact, I had finished the book writing my own adventures with my children. Then one day I was just thinking and reflecting on the book. And in my spirit, I just heard, what about your parents? Write the story, a parallel story of how your parents did it. And that's what created the then part of my book. So whenever you read each chapter, there's the now and the then. So let's go to the then version of Travel Together. So growing up in Nigeria, traveling with my parents was one of the most eagerly anticipated events of the year. Our annual Christmas trip to our ancestral village was not just a journey. It was an exhilarating adventure that infused our lives with excitement, cherished traditions, and a profound sense of belonging. The excitement of the trip was accompanied by the daunting task of preparation. Packing for a family road trip was no small feat. The night before, we frantically gathered everything by the door, clothes, gifts, food, ensuring that nothing crucial was overlooked. However, the true challenge lay in the journey itself. The trip stretched across an entire day, and navigating through Nigeria's roads, especially during the chaotic holiday season, was unpredictable. We always departed on time, usually about 5 or 5:30 a.m. to get ahead of the holiday traffic. The early morning darkness, the crisp coolness of the air, and the soothing hum of the car as my dad skillfully maneuvered us away from home set the tone for the long day ahead. Food played a significant role in our journey. My mom prepared simple yet satisfying breakfast of boiled eggs and bread, which we savored as the first rays of dawn broke across the sky. The moment we knocked on my grandfather's door, he greeted us with a warm smile despite the late hour. That single instant, his open arms and his voice filled with warmth made the entire journey worthwhile. It marked the commencement of our holiday celebration, a reunion that felt like returning home in its truest sense. So, travel, I came to understand, isn't solely about the movement. It's about the connections that is forged in the spaces between, the laughter in the crowded cars, and the joy of experiencing something together. You can't trade those memories. As I'm reading this to you, I can just picture my grandfather's room, his front porch where we would sit down and tell stories. Those are memories that you can't create just sitting in the living room. So I encourage you to plan a trip for your family. Don't let the logistics steal your joy. It's easy to get caught up in the planning, the packing, the managing of everybody and all the details. But let's pause and be present. Let's laugh when things go sideways. Share stories while you drive, and let those off-script moments help you build memories and connection with your teenagers. So, a power tip for you as a parent of teenagers is just laugh with them. Laugh at their quirks, laugh at their stories. And the challenge is this: if you can't plan a big trip now, travel light together. It may be a trip to the park or a museum where you can study history, and it will take you around the world. Just this week, my daughter and I went to a museum, and we were like in history of even the medieval times, of paintings and artwork. So we didn't go too far, but the museum gave us an experience of traveling the world and traveling back in time in the 16th, 17th century. And we could see furniture and building materials from that time in history. So you can even go to a restaurant. The other day, my daughters, we actually drove. We could walk, it's 20 minutes walk, but that day we were going somewhere else. So we drove to a new cafe that just opened in our city here, and we just had brunch there. So that's something new. Every time we drive by, we remember that experience. Sometimes you just want to explore your city together and find a new path. Like my husband and my daughter, they ride their bikes, and they'll tell me, oh, they found something in our neighborhood that I haven't seen before. And the other day we were taking a walk. Okay, so my two kids were in camp. So my older daughter, she likes to take a walk. So we just walked in our neighborhood, and she took us to her own route. I had never even seen that route before. And what happened was I saw this flower that was growing in my own parents' house when I was growing up. So I made her take me a picture by that flower. So you can see, you never know what you discover, even if just traveling by foot in your own neighborhood. And what else can you do? Oh, you know what? Even if you can't do all that, you can flip through pictures. The other day we were waiting in line, and a photo just flashed in my memory, whatever roll in my phone. And I was showing it to her, and we remembered exactly what we were doing, how fun it was, and we retold the story. So there you have it. Whether you're going by road or by train or by air or by foot, just make memories, travel together. And I like taking pictures. So take pictures, share your adventures with me. And one adventure that I'm thinking about right now, my little niece likes to come to my house. They live about 2 hours away. So when they come, she likes to play with this car, Lightning McQueen. And there's the remote control. So even though they've driven here in my living room, she likes to remote control this car and just travel on her own in my living room. I mean, if you know the movie, Lightning McQueen was traveling and got lost, and some other stories, you can Google it. But what is that? That's a memory. The moment she walks into my house, Lightning McQueen, Lightning McQueen. And I bring it out for her to play with. So what am I saying? Traveling gives you memories, stories to tell, stories to share. So I encourage you to make it a priority before the summer is over and the children go back to school. A week before they go back to school, I usually tell my children, write what you did during your holiday. So give them something to write about and to think about and to reminisce about. So this is Remi Ayodele. Thank you for joining me for day 12. Tomorrow we're going to day 13. I look forward to seeing you. Let me give you a teaser. What are we talking about tomorrow? Celebrate. Oh my goodness. I think this is my favorite in this book. Celebrate together and celebrate everything. So if you haven't gotten your copy yet, there are 21 ways to build timeless memories in the teenage years. Practically connected parenting. Amazon.com, Amazon.ca, Amazon.co.uk, Amazon.yourcountry. Thank you for joining me. Travel together. Bye for now.